What's going on, everybody? Scott Hogan coming at you. We are going to continue to chase the off season. Today, we're talking about club fitting. That's a big deal in the off season. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, we are here. We're in the lab. So club fitting, that's one of those things that people are always talking about. If you have friends like me, they're on the club forums. They've got more clubs in the last 2 years than I've had my entire career. It can be something of a rabbit hole that you can go down, and it's an important part of the business. But let's talk a little bit about what club fitting should be and why we do it. I'm also going to talk to you about what clubs I just went and got fitted for, and I have them here to show. And I'll talk you through the entire process, and I'll talk to you why I ended up with the company I ended up, which if you see the hat, you know what that is. So we're going to go through that and make sure you have that knowledge as you're going to your own fittings, as you're going through that. So let's get into it. So club fitting as an instructor, the first thing that we have to talk about is what happens to me as an instructor is people will come to me for lessons, and the first thing that they have tried to do is they usually go out and buy like a driver. So what will happen is like people will say, oh, hey, I'm slicing it. And oh, it must be the driver. I must need to be getting fit, things like that. So they go spend $500-$600 or more and get fit and get the driver, and they still have the same old problems. And the problem is a golf club and a fitting is not going to fix swing issues. So you have to dial those in first. Golf clubs can promote tendencies, but they're not going to, in all of the glory that we hope they can, they're not going to completely fix your swing, okay? That's just not how it happens. So we have to know what we're going in and trying to achieve. So for me, you saw in the Chasing Scratchers, I've been wanting to get clubs now for a little bit, but I've been going through changing my swing. And so what I wanted to do was actually work on that. My clubs were not horribly misfit. I've been fit for them in the past, but I'm going to be changing things, and I want to get that dialed in first. So I've done that for a little bit over a year now. Getting the swing down, I feel pretty good about it, and I feel like I've been hitting the ball good and seeing the ball flight kind of do what I want it, but there was still something to be desired with that ball flight. For me, namely, I was hitting it too high. I was not getting that ball that was fighting through the wind. So this is when it's time to start talking about club fitting and looking at the equipment, because I think I can dial in my equipment better based on my new swing, which is a little bit faster. It's releasing a little different. Some other things are happening. So we got to make sure that equipment is matching up to what's going on new. So for me, that means it's time to head out and get fit. So that's what I just did. And I headed out to a local company here. They're in Sycamore, Illinois, just west of Chicago. And they are called Sub 70 Golf. All right. And I met these guys a couple years ago at the Chicago Golf Show. And I really wanted to go over there and get clubs sooner. But COVID happened, all that stuff. And then I started changing my swing. And so now is the time. And I'm actually kind of glad, because I think I would have had a different fit back then. But now's the time to head over there and see what we can do. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I'm so impressed with what they do and why it made me order some clubs.
Because you're not going to probably deviate much from an S400.
Right.
This might be my chance.
Yeah.
But I flattened the last two swing. I flattened the last two wedges.
All right, so you can see as we go through the process, first things first, again, I went in with clear expectations. You can see Jason and Jay, those are the guys there. Jason is the main fitter that is talking to me about the clubs, but Jay is also giving me some input about some things that are going on with the equipment as well. And those are the two big guys that are running the company there and doing a lot of their marketing and stuff like that as well. So it's really cool to hear the story of what they're trying to achieve. And what they're trying to achieve is direct to consumer a model that you can just go to them and buy clubs. I think that is so cool to be able to talk directly with the people doing the fitting and the building for your golf clubs and being able to say, hey, this is exactly what I want. I also love when I was at the fitting, Jason took my clubs out and he went to their shop and he measured everything and he said, hey, this is what you currently have. One of the things that you learn, and I've seen this as I've been ordering clubs and I used to do fittings, is when you order from a big manufacturer, they have tolerances, and sometimes it can be up to like 4 degrees of lie and loft. It can be pretty nuts that, hey, they don't actually give you what you order and get it exactly right. Here with Sub 70, that's one of their big things. They take the time to build your clubs. When you get equipment that's coming out, the heads are coming out from the factory, they are all weighted. They make sure they try to match all those weights up so your clubs are all the same. So you're getting something that is built consistently. The other thing I liked is, if I don't like it, they will change it. I can send it back. They do have a warranty on the clubs, but you can try stuff. Hey, I think this is actually gonna work better. So I felt really comfortable with, hey, I'm gonna go with this, even though I might have been a little uncomfortable at first with what I got, because it's a little bit different and change is always hard to come by. But after hitting the shots and working on things, I really liked what I had there. Plus, again, I like the company. I like the vibe of everything they have going on. And you know what? I'm all about being a small business owner myself. I love going kind of that route if that presents itself. So that's it. Plus, the equipment was just good. I was bombing it and hitting it really, really good. So again, if you're going in, you have an idea of what you're looking for. Me, it was lowering the ball flight. You're going to be able to ask the questions. You're going to be able to get results really quick, and you're going to be able to help the fitter get you where you need to go because you have a clear intention on what you're trying to do. That might come from the help of a coach or just what you observe when you have your swing down and what you're seeing in your ball flight.
Life I've barely spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis. Why did I sip that potion? I'm so done with holy ghosting. My birth, it is an omen. Lay me down up in the ocean until you see no motion. Right now I can barely focus. I'm showing no emotion. On your knees, show your devotion. My skin is black but golden. I'm not here for bragging, boasting. Ain't lying, I've been chosen. Mind is burning, heart's exploding. This is my magnum opus. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now.
So here's what I was looking for in my game. The first thing is I'm looking for my irons to be lower. Okay. I also am looking for my wedges to be lower. I'm hitting them and they're floating too much. So that can cost me as much as like a club. And if I'm hitting into the wind, it could cost me 2 clubs. I found that in some of my tournaments and some of the rounds I was playing, I was taking a ton of club to try to swing easier and keep the ball down, because if I got it up in the air at all, that was going to be an issue. So what that led us to was into the irons. That led us into a couple of things. One is going to be the shaft that we were looking at, but also we're looking at the head that we're using. So what I settled on was the Sub 70. This is the TA3. So if you're looking at it, it is a pretty thin little club. And that was a little bit concerning. I mean, it feels phenomenal, but when you have a smaller head, it's less forgiving. Now you have to trust that you can hit the ball very solid. So that's something I was like, man, am I really swinging it that well? But I decided we're going to go with it and trust that, hey, I am hitting it good. And I've played around with them, felt awesome. The thing I like about these clubs too is the way they're weighted. You can see there's a weight here, right here. And the way they can affect ball flight is you actually move the weight up and down the club. So you can see here is a 7-iron, and here's where that weight comes in. Here is the 4-iron. You can see this weight is not as tall or stretching up to the back side of the club, right? So this means the center of mass is a little bit lower. It's going to launch this long iron, this 4-iron, a little bit higher, and then the 7-iron is going to help keep it down. And then the wedges, it actually goes up even higher with the pitching wedge, and that helps keep that down. So that's something that you can look at. The other thing that we did was we looked at the shaft. So I am now in a dynamic gold, which I did play those back in the day. They're a heavier shaft. This is an X100, so this is a very stout shaft. I tried this. I also tried a Project X, which is a rifle shaft. So the difference is you don't have these steps in the shaft. So you need a more violent swing to load that club properly. And so for me, that's not my style. I could have a little bit more feel in this shaft. So it really just comes down to, they're both excellent. It just comes down to what you feel when you're swinging it and which one you think feels better. So we ended up there. I play pretty standard, just the Golf Pride grips. I do have jumbo grips. Again, they do an excellent job of getting those uniform and getting them on there. So it was really nice. Now, when we go into wedges, I have just their 286, their CNC milled. This is, a really good looking wedge. What I want is something that has a little bit more flange. I tend to dig, so I want a wider sole that effectively has more bounce on it. So when I hit, I'm not going to take as much dirt. I'm going to get a little bit more help from the wedge. Again, with the wedge shafts, we actually are in an S400, and this is a heavier wedge shaft than I had before. You might say, why not have an X100 like you do in your irons? Well, I'm typically not swinging the wedge as fast, right? You don't swing those as fast as you do your longer clubs. So we can go with a S400, and it's got a good weight to it and all that. And then one thing I think with wedges is you want to have a nice milled face, and you want to be keeping your wedges nice and clean. Part of hitting it lower, big part of it was the shaft, but another part of it is just having new wedges with friction on them. That will launch the ball lower for you and make it a little bit more easy to control. So that's how you get that spin that you see pros having too. That's a big part of it as well. And then the last thing I was going in there looking for was a driver. I wasn't sure if I was going to go with a driver, but this bad boy had just kind of been introduced. This was on My Golf Spy. If you're not familiar with them, you can check out their website. But this is the 849 Pro. And what this is a driver that is meant to very much a fade bias driver. Okay, so swing hard, be able to actually get the ball to just fade and not have to worry about it hooking. That's what the bias is. Again, it doesn't overcome, like if I hit it on the toe, it's going to hook. If I make a bad swing, I can hook it. I could still hit a draw with this, but I tend to just draw my 3-wood if I need to. And what I decided on was, I just wanted a driver. My old driver was a Sim. I really struggled with that thing, not only with just it spinning too much, but I struggled with control. I didn't know where it was going. I also like drivers that don't have sliders on them. I think the slider, and this is what Jason was telling me there too, the sliders don't really do much, and they actually probably hurt the design of the club. It makes it just a little bit different. And so what you rather have is just the weights in the bottom here. And so he did set this up with weights where we are very much favoring towards having the heel come in first, so I can favor a fade as we're going through. But again, going a little bit heavier on the shaft, going with a hazardous smoke, which was actually the same shaft that I had in my other driver, but this one's a 70 gram and this is a 6.5, which that is an extra stiff in the Project X world. So you can adjust the height and everything on this driver, but the biggest thing when I hit it, I absolutely loved it. This ball was just flat and going. I love it. I felt so good with this club. I can't wait to hit it again and get it out there on the course some more. So that is what my setup was, and that's the reasoning and what I was thinking behind going with it. Now, again, why did I choose sub 70? One, again, customer service. My Golf Spy, they're an independent review agency. They rated them as the best customer service. And being there, going through the fitting process, they rolled out the red carpet and they took me through everything. And they said, here we go, this is what you're doing. They also were happy to share with me what they have in there and what they're doing and all that stuff. The thing I want to see is their putters. They look awesome. So I might be going back for a putter, but I just thought it was so cool that you get to talk with the people that design and build the clubs. That's not what you get when you go to other companies. If I call up a major manufacturer and I get their customer service line, I'm getting some customer service rep. They're not even going to be anywhere near building the golf clubs, nor do they have to build with such precision. I don't want that in my game. I want something that's precise. Plus, the fact that they're going direct to consumer, it's not as expensive for an elite set of golf clubs. So I highly recommend you check out their website where they have all the clubs and the pricing, because it is elite level stuff for a not as much of a price tag. It's awesome. So that was it too. Plus the satisfaction of, hey, and the security that you can send this back. Send it back, come talk to us, we'll change stuff, whatever you need, we're gonna make it right. That's a huge deal as well. And you know what? It helps that they're a little bit of a smaller company because you feel like you're going to get it there and they're going to be, dealing with it quickly and all that and going from there. So that was all part of the process. Now, I think it's something in the winter. If you're looking to get fit, I mean, heck, give Sub 70 a call. They will take the fitting if you get fit anywhere, and then take that information and talk to you about what you should get. So if you go to any other fitter, you don't have to necessarily go to them, but just get that information and then take it to them, and they can help you out. But I think if you're going to get fit, you want to get it this winter. Most professionals are doing this stuff in the off season, getting everything dialed in, and then they're going to be working on their games and making sure everything's staying where they want it to be. Don't do it the other way around where you're going to get clubs and then you're going to be able to, oh yeah, this is going to fix things. Oh, it doesn't. I still have to go work on things, because what ends up happening is you might have to go get fit again and change things because your swing has changed. So you want to make sure you get that dialed in. So get working on your swing this winter, but then also start looking at your equipment. And the big thing with equipment nowadays is you have to get on it, because with everything going on with shipping and everything, it is taking longer. I've noticed that with other companies that I've had to order clubs for my juniors, things like that. It's just something that you have to pay attention to. Although this was pretty quick, it only took a couple weeks to have a fully customized set built and in my hands. So that's pretty sweet. So if you have any questions about the clubs, head over to Instagram. You can see more pictures. I'm going to be posting more information. I'll link that down below. Also, check out Golf Sub 70 on Instagram. They post a lot of stuff. And make sure you talk about your fitting and get to your pro and see what you think you might need. And if you need help with your game, check out our online academy down below. We'll get you dialed in before you head out there to get fit. So that is club fitting. That is part of the off-season program. Be thinking about that, and it's going to help you out in the long run. Take the guesswork out of your clubs and make sure it's something that you don't have to blame. You don't want to be blaming your clubs. You want to be like, you know what, I just got to go make better swings, and then you can go work on that stuff. So that's what we like to do, and that's what you're going to find helps you in the long run. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. We're going to have more with the off-season program, chasing the off-season. Going to have some workouts, things like that coming up. So don't miss out on it, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.